So you get your sunroof drain. Up there you can see the pipe underneath that wiring. That runs along. There's the airbag for the A-pillar. That runs along down there. And along down here, this thick tube is the drain tube. Goes behind the dash. It's not going to be a good video because it's all awkward. And it goes in behind this fuse box that I've had to remove. From right up inside there. So that water drain comes down that A-pillar as I showed you. And this is not going to be easy to hold this and show you where this is. But see it myself at the moment, hold on. Right, can you see, obviously you've got the bunch of wires that are in front of the lens. It's gone out of focus now. Right, see the white wire to the right of the bunch that's at the left. Just below that is the rubber grommet here, you can see it there. That comes down that A-pillar, goes behind that fuse box and comes out the inside of the wing and drips down behind the front near side wheel. That's leaking, and that is leaking into my footwell, completely saturating this carpet, which I've got to somehow dry out. And worst of all, which is why I'm getting these problems with this car, is under there. You can see the water in there, look, it's absolutely saturated, absolutely filled to the brim with water. So I've got to somehow, I can't do nothing with the tube today because it's not coming. Plus I've got to do the drying out first. So I've got to try and get all the water out of here that I can using this syringe that I bought for gluing, not for drug taking, although I am getting there. And then I've got to somehow try and dry this out because it's just absolutely saturated, look. And there's going to be all sorts of shorts going on in there. So I've just got to get it as dry as I can and then spray it all with contact cleaner and hope for the best. But that's where I'm at. Not happy. Right, so I thought while I was in the roof lining, I would remove the rear drain and put the curtain wire in the sunroof end to check the blockage in the sunroof tray if there was any, because you can't get to the rear one from the sunroof, or not that I know of anyway. So that was clear. Been through the pipe gently with the curtain rail, which runs along this inner edge behind the airbag here, comes down the C-pillar inside here and exits just inside the wheel arch there. I've checked all this. I'm just making sure really that I'm not draining from the back into the gully as well as the front. While I've got it all down, I'd have a look. And that grommet and everything, it all feels nice and strong still, like the new ones I've bought. So on this particular side, I'm not going to replace that. I'm just going to put that all back as that was, because I'm happy that that's all good, and it clearly doesn't need changing. So I'll update you with more as I go along. I'm back down in the near side front passenger footwell now, and I've pulled that rubber grommet out, and you can see that rubber grommet. Before I start to yank that off, I'm going to muller it, but you can see chances are that has been on there from new, and it is absolutely perished. When they built them new, they had a little crosshead on the bottom of that rubber boot that poked through the inner wing, and that used to block up, and so people, as a quick fix, would go up inside the inner wing and snip the end of the cross off so that the water would flow again. But they'd have to snip it so far back that the water would drain in the car, and that's what's been happening. That has just been draining straight into my car. So I am definitely confident now that when I replace that, that is going to cure that problem, although I've still got the issue of the faults and the short circuiting, which I'm going to get to later. But you can see that how mullered that is, and you can see that that is how it's supposed to be. This is a modified section that hasn't got the cross end on it now, and you can see how much of that they've chopped off. I mean, it's a silly thing to do. I know it's a pain doing this job, but now having been down here and doing this, I wouldn't hesitate doing it again, because I know that it's just a simple fix, really. So what my plan is to pull that boot off of that and slip this one on. Bit of duck oil around that to help that go through the wing, and then I should be putting it back together, this side anyway. And I've used my handy little clamp light that I bought about 5 years ago. It's been sitting in the drawer. Just gives you that third hand. Brilliant.